Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for this yoga practice. My name is Colleen. I'm with Shine On Yoga. I have Sam here and I have Fritz. They might be joining us for the first half of today. Fritz had his annual shot, so he's a little tired. Sam is not happy because he didn't get to go for a car ride to the vet, but he's probably happy to avoid the vet for now until next month. But I hope everyone is doing great. For today's practice, you don't need any props, but if you'd like some, a few I would recommend are blocks, bolsters, maybe a blanket if you have it. And again, if you don't have any of those things, that is perfectly fine. We are going to do a little bit of flow, and we are going to do a couple moves that are a little bit challenging, but I'll give you some options along the way. If anything does not agree with your body, you don't have to do it. I'm simply a guide, so I'm not being a dictator. You don't have to do exactly what I say unless it's more of a safety thing. But if there's something that doesn't feel right in your body, don't feel compelled to do it. All right, so all of that out of the way, we're going to start seated. If you want to sit up on anything like a bolster or a blanket like what I have here, you can. If you don't have anything, that is perfectly okay. So we're going to find our seat, sit up nice and straight and tall. Your hands can fall wherever feels natural, palms facing up or down, doesn't matter. Go ahead and loop your shoulders up, back, and down. Sit up again, nice and straight and tall. Open chest, shoulder blades together. Relax your forehead, unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders. If it feels safe in your body, you can even close down the eyes. But if not, just soften your gaze. We're going to take some nice big inhales and exhales here. If you'd like to set an intention, you're more than welcome to. But if not, you don't have to. Okay, let's take one more big inhale here. Exhale, go ahead and sigh it out, let it go. If your eyes are closed, you can blink them open. You can see the craziness going on here. This is part of the joy of an at-home yoga practice with pets. We're just going to work around them, or really any fitness journey with pets or kids. All right, from here, let's transition to all fours to a nice tabletop position. I will as soon as they get off my mat. When you're in that tabletop position, make sure that your knees are underneath your hip points and your arms or your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Everything's going to be in a nice straight line. So kind of like how Sam is right here. No, you've got to look forward if you're going to be in here, if you're going to be my demo model here. Yeah. No, if you don't like that, okay. Well, you've got to move then. Thank you. All right. All of that craziness out of the way. All right, so we'll set up in our tabletop position, and from here we're going to work on some spinal flexion, so just some nice cat and cows. If you know cat-cow, you can take it away. Otherwise, as we inhale, we're going to drop those lower ribs, lift our chest, lift our tail, feel a nice big stretch in our front body. And then as you exhale, we'll reverse it. We're going to round through the spine, drop the tail, drop the head, feel a nice big stretch in our back body, coming into cat. Inhaling, reversing it, coming into cow. Exhaling, rounding it into cat. Go ahead and do a few more on your own inhales and exhales. Just feeling that nice big stretch as we warm everything up today. Let's do one more. And then after your next cat pose, we'll return it back to our nice tabletop position. And we're going to work on a little bit of balancing and just warming up our core. So I'm going to give you some stages. Let me walk ahead on my mat so that way everyone can see me. So step one, let's stretch out our right leg. You can keep your toes on the floor, maybe rock back and forth a few times. You can feel a nice stretch in your calf muscle here. Thank you for the hearts. All right, and once you do that a few times, you can bring it to stillness. And when you feel ready, lift that right leg up off the mat, toe style down. So it doesn't have to come clear up here or anything crazy, just nice and line. So maybe you stay here, you can really feel that turning on your abs. Or if you want a little more, we'll take our left hand, stretch it out in front of us like we're shaking someone's hand. So you have these two opposing forces and you're balancing in between them. Again, this is going to really engage your core. Keep breathing here. All right, and then when you feel ready, we'll release that. Take a few breaths, see how you feel, and then we'll move it to the other side. All right, side two. So I'm just going to stretch my left leg out long and away. I'm going to take a little back and forth motion here just to give my calf muscle a little stretch. I don't know if the video picked up on that giant crack. That was my ankle. So if you have any cracks or little crispy bits, work them out. All right, once you've had enough of that, we'll bring it to stillness. We'll lift that leg up again. Keep those toes dialed down. And then if you want a little more, we'll stretch our right hand out, thumb to the sky, like we're shaking someone's hand. Then we'll just balance here and breathe. Try and keep a nice straight line if you can. One more big inhale. Exhale, release. We'll bring our knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, sink those your hips back towards your heels. Walk those fingertips forward. Let your head rest on the mat and we'll take a little break here. Extended child's pose. Take some nice big breaths. From here, look up. We'll rise back up to that tabletop position. Bring your knees back under your hip points. If your hands are underneath your shoulders, walk them just one hand in front of where they were, so they're going to be a little bit out and away. We'll tuck our toes under. Inhale to prepare. And then exhale, press through those toes. Lift the knees up off the mat. Start to straighten through the legs. Press through the hands. We're in our first downward facing dog. Let those heels grow heavy. If you'd like to walk your dog, you can bend one knee and then the other. Again, just taking another nice big stretch in your calf muscles and your legs and those hamstrings. If you are walking your dog, go ahead and bring it to stillness. Really press through those heels. It's okay if they don't come to the ground. Keep breathing here. After a few breaths, we'll look up at our hands and we're going to make our way up to the top of the mat. So you can take some baby steps. I like to do baby steps. You can crisscross them. You can just take little baby steps all the way up to the top. Or maybe you'd like to jump or hop or float all the way up there too. Once you reach the top, slight bend in the knees. On an inhale, we're going to rise up halfway. Keep a nice flat back here. Your hands can be on your shins. They can be on your thighs. Or maybe fingertips on the mat. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Forward fold. Go ahead and fold over those legs. Now, if this pose is challenging, you can use blocks here just to bring the floor up to you. If you don't have blocks, just bend your knees as generously as you'd like. The more you bend your knees, the more you're going to feel it in your lower back. The straighter your legs are, the more you're going to feel it in your hamstrings. So you can kind of work at that and see what really needs that attention today. Make sure you're not locking your legs out. Nice big inhales and exhales here. And on your next exhale, we're going to start to slowly roll it all the way up. So just roll up. You can keep your chin tucked if you'd like. Try and go slower than I did. I always roll up a little bit too fast, but that's okay. And then once you're there, give everything a good shake. Shake out your wrists, shake out your feet. We're going to stand up nice and straight and tall in our mountain pose. Chest lifted, feet nice and grounded, looking forward. Just taking a little bit of a break off of those wrists. On your next inhale, let's reach our arms up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Slight bend in the knees, shift your hips back. Swan dive it down. Inhale, we'll come up halfway, nice flat back here. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. All right, from here, make sure that your hands are planted on the mat wherever you're at in this forward fold. You might want to walk your feet up a little bit if you're more towards the middle of your mat. And then we'll step our right leg back. Go ahead and lower onto that right knee. You can keep your toes tucked or untucked. Our front leg, so this is my left leg, is going to be at a nice 90-degree angle. So my knee and ankle are all in one line. You don't want to go too far forward or too far back. Your chest is going to be nice and lifted in this low lunge position. Again, you can always use blocks here, or if you don't have blocks, you can just bring your hands up to the top of your thigh. You're going to pull this left hip crease back, right hip crease forward, really feeling that stretch. And we're just going to breathe here for a moment. From here, go ahead and make sure your right palm is firmly planted into the mat. We're going to take our left hand and reach it up to the sky as we twist towards our left leg. So just coming into a nice little twist here, and breathe. When you feel ready, we'll lower that left hand to the mat, come back to our low lunge, and then let's start to walk our hands back as we straighten through this left leg. Peel those left toes up off the mat as we come into a little hamstring stretch. So don't lock out your leg, keep a little bit of a bend in it, and we're just stretching out that hamstring. So you should feel a nice big stretch in that back of the thigh. Keep looking forward, keep breathing here. From here, we'll walk it forward, coming back into that low lunge. Let's tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee up off the mat, and when you feel ready, we'll step our left foot back to meet our right, coming into our first plank. Now you can always lower into a half plank if you'd like, or press through the hands, press through those feet, coming into full plank. Whichever option you choose, make sure your hips aren't dipping down, make sure they're not lifting up. Nice straight line, and we'll breathe here. One more breath. Exhale, we'll lower all the way down to our belly. You can even belly flop down if you'd like. Take a breath, lower your head down to the mat. And then when you feel ready, we'll bring our hands underneath our shoulders, or kind of in line with it. Go ahead and make sure that your elbows aren't flailing out. You want to bring them in towards your rib cage. And on an inhale, we'll peel our nose and our forehead up, looking forward, coming into a little baby cobra. We'll grow this later, but for now we're just still kind of warming up that upper back. We don't want to push it too far, too fast. Exhale, lower it back down. From here, let's go ahead and come back up to all fours. We'll tuck our toes under. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift those knees, start to straighten through the legs, and we're back in our downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. All right, when you're ready, we will plant our right foot on the mat. Go ahead and lift those left toes up. Keep them in line like we did in bird dog a little bit ago. As you exhale, bend that knee in towards your chest as you shift forward and look forward. And then we can step that left foot in between our hands. Go ahead and lower onto that right knee. We're coming back into our low lunge. And actually, I'm going to switch my legs because I just realized I'm doing the same side. I set my right leg back first. So if you did the same, go ahead and do a quick little switch. And then while you're switching, make sure you're set up in your nice low lunge position. Nice 90-degree angle in that right leg. Chest lifted up and strong. We'll breathe here. One more breath. And then we'll plant our left palm. We'll go ahead and lift our right arm up to the sky. Take a nice big twist here. Keep breathing. And then when you're ready, we'll release the right hand to the mat, and then we'll start to walk it back, stretching through our right hamstring this time. Keep breathing here. Every now and then I mix up my sides. I'll do the same side twice. It's not great for the body, so then I have to go back and do double on the other side. So I'm glad I caught it. Otherwise, I would have had to do it again on the other side twice. Not you guys, I would have done it, but. All right, let's go ahead and walk it forward. Tuck those left toes under, lift that left knee up off the mat, and then we'll step our right foot back to meet our left, coming back into a plank. Or again, you can lower to your knees and come to a half plank. Breathe here. One more big inhale. Exhale, we'll lower all the way down to the mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And on an inhale, we'll rise up into that little baby cobra. If you'd like to go a little bigger, really ground your hands into the mat. And then we're just going to lift up a little bit higher. As you lift up, though, a few things. If you feel any crunchiness in your lower back, lower down. You don't have to go up as high. Also, as you're rising up, if you find that your shoulders are up here by your ears, lower down, or roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Really lift up through the chest. Imagine you're pinching a pencil in between your shoulder blades. If that's difficult, lower down a little bit. There's no shame in that. Every day is different. Our bodies are different. So we just work with where we're at today. One more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. All right. We're going to go back into downward facing dog. So you can either go through all fours like we did just a moment ago, or I'm going to show you an alternative option. So if you're going through all fours, we'll meet you there. If you're coming with me, let's go. Tuck those toes under. Take a nice big inhale here. Exhale, press through the hands, lift up. Plank. Inhale again. Exhale, lift those hips up and back and down. Downward facing dog. Nice big breaths here. I always say up, back, and down, but you're not really going down, but you kind of are with your heels at least, I guess. I guess that can kind of be a little confusing. One more big inhale here. Exhale, maybe side out. If you're feeling a lot of heat, you can stick your tongue out as you exhale. If you stuck your tongue out, that's a nice little lion's breath. It's a good way to release some heat. All right, let's make our way back up to the top. So again, baby steps, or you can take big steps, whatever feels good in your body today. Once you reach the top of your mat, we're going to inhale, halfway, flat back. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. Take some nice big breaths here. Let it all go. If it feels good, you can clasp opposite elbows and maybe rock side to side. Maybe you want to shake your head yes, or maybe no. Or maybe stillness feels best to you right now. Let's all take one more big inhale here. And then on the exhale, we'll slowly roll it all the way back up until we're standing in our nice, tall mountain pose. I always like to give it a shake. Get out any extra energy. And then we're just going to stand up nice and straight and tall. I'm turning to face you guys so you can see me a little better here. If you're having problems grounding, or if you're feeling really anxious anytime, and you can do this anytime, this is not just a yoga thing, but you can really ground with your feet. You can do this outside, but if you're not able to get outside, you can do this inside. So imagine a cat. I don't know how many people have cats, but if you have cats, you know how they like to make biscuits and they're clawing and they do the little thing? We're going to do the same thing with our feet. So really spread those toes, and as you place your foot down on the mat, really feel those toes ground into the mat. And again, if you're doing this outside of a yoga practice, if you're just anxious and you need to slow that mind down, you can go outside, take off your shoes. You can do this in the grass. You can do this just at home. Depending on the surface you're practicing on or where you're doing this, just really pay attention to what that feels like underneath your feet. So like my mat is a little sticky. It's kind of got some little grip things on it. So I can feel that. If you're on grass, you could feel the cool blades of grass if it was in the morning. Or maybe if you're practicing on carpet, you can feel fuzzy carpet underneath you. So really pay attention to those sensory things, and that can help get you back in your body and out of your mind. Excuse me. All right. From here, let's keep on stretching a little bit. So we're going to reach our arms up to the sky, nice big full body stretch. And from here, I'm going to take my right hand and just place it around my left wrist. Inhale, we'll stand up nice and straight and tall. And then exhale, shift past that midline, coming over towards the right. You're going to feel a nice big stretch in your left side body here. And just breathe. You might even feel a stretch in your hip. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll return to center, switch those hands. So my left hand is coming around my right wrist. We'll inhale nice and straight and tall. And then exhale, crossing that midline, coming over towards the left, feeling a nice big stretch in the right side body. Try not to bump your hips out to the right. Try and keep standing up nice and tall here. And just breathe. One more big inhale. And then exhale, we'll return to center. Let your arms fall down at your side. We'll return to our nice tall mountain pose. So I'm going to go back to the side here. Just take a few breaths, see how you're feeling. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, let's reach our arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, let's come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, let it go. From here, make sure your palms are firmly planted onto the mat. We'll step one foot back, then the other, coming into plank or half plank. This is our last plank, so let's make it the best one. If you've been in half plank, maybe try full plank for just a breath or two. One more big inhale here. Exhale, we'll lower all the way down to the floor. Inhale, rise up into your version of cobra. Feeling that nice big stretch. Again, take your version. It can be lower than mine. Maybe you want to do up dog, if that's in your practice. One more breath here. Exhale, let it go. And from here, I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Either come through all fours or through plank. Yogi's choice. But I'll meet you there. Nice big full inhales and exhales. Now we're going to go into kind of a fun pose. I'm going to come down to my knees for just a moment. If you'd like to take a little break, you can too. Just come down to your knees. We're going to go back into downward dog. But we're going to do something called wild thing, or a version of it. If you are familiar with it, then you can take it away. But I'm going to go a little bit slow. If this is not something in your practice that you feel comfortable with doing, then don't feel that you have to do it. You can just stay in downward dog or maybe take a child's pose. That's a good little resting posture too. But if you'd like to play with it, with wild thing, you can. I'm going to move some of my stuff here out of the way because I'll probably kick it. All right. So we're back in downward facing dog. From here, we're going to turn our toes all the way to the left edge of the mat. And we're going to start to come over onto our side like we're coming into a side plank. But we're going to take this left foot that's on top, this left leg, and bend it and just place it behind us. Right leg is going to be out straight. From here, lift those hips up. Reach that left arm back. Spin your chest up towards the sky, coming into a wild thing. My brain was bothering me there, choking me. So really lift those hips up. Feel that nice big stretch, and we're just going to breathe here for a little bit. One more breath. And then exhale, we'll start to come out of it. So replace that left hand to the mat if you can. Start to bend through your knees. We'll come back to center. We're back in that downward facing dog. Whew. I think the hardest part is getting in and out of it. All right, side two. So we'll shift our toes over to the right side of our mat. We're going to take our right foot, bring it behind our left, keep it bent, keep that left leg extended, hips up high, right arm to the sky, and then you can stretch that right hand overhead, coming in to Wild Thing on this side, and we'll breathe here. One more big inhale, and then exhale. We're going to release our right hand down to the mat. Go ahead and come back into your downward facing dog, just the way we came. Whew. And from here, let's bring our knees to the mat. You can swing your legs to one side, and we're going to stretch them out in front of us. That one can be a little bit challenging, but I think it's kind of fun. It's not one that I do too often in these classes online since I can't see people, but I thought it'd be fun. All right, so your legs are going to be stretched out in front of you. If you would like to use a blanket or a bolster here, you can. We're just going to stretch out our hamstrings and legs a little bit more. So this is always an option if you have it available to you. If not, and we can all start out like this, bend your knees generously. And on an inhale, we're going to reach up to the sky. Exhale, start to reach your hands towards your feet. See if you can grab maybe the outer edges of those feet. And if you are, you can start to straighten a leg and then maybe another leg as you come into this seated forward fold. Now the full pose, you're going to try and bring your nose to your knees, but I understand most people don't have that sort of mobility to get down there. You can in time, it's definitely possible, but we sit a lot, so we have tight hamstrings, and it can make it difficult. So if you're not here all the way yet, that's okay. Just keep your knees bent, or again, you can use a blanket or a bolster, or maybe just grab your ankles, your calves. Go as far down as you feel comfortable with today. We're just going to take a few breaths here, feeling that nice big stretch in our hamstrings. Maybe also your lower back. One more big inhale here. And then exhale. We're going to roll it up. Wherever you're at, we're going to come back to a seated position. I'm going to bring a block with me because I'm just going to show you something with our next pose. But we're all going to go ahead and transition to our backs. So make your way to your back. Finally laying down. Hooray. Snuggle those shoulder blades underneath your heart center. Feet flat on the mat. Walk them up towards your booty. And we're going to go into a little bridge pose here just to lengthen our lower back a little bit, strengthen our glutes. So on your next inhale, start to roll your tailbone up, press through the feet, lift those hips up. You can bring your chest to your chin to the sky to lengthen the back of your neck. And we'll just hold there in this nice bridge position. Now, if this is difficult, you can always use a block, or if you have any injuries also, not just if it's difficult. But this block can come beneath your sacrum, and you can come into a little reclined bridge. This is a little bit gentler on the body. So this is totally an option too. If you don't have a block, you can use a blanket, pillows. Again, whatever you have around that can bring the ground up to you. So choose your bridge, and we'll breathe here just for a little bit. One more big inhale here, and then exhale, roll back down through your spine. All right, just a couple more poses before we end our practice. We're going to go into a nice twist here. So let's extend our left leg out long and away. We'll bring our right knee in towards the chest. Take a nice little stretch here. Give it a hug. And then when you're ready, We're going to take that knee across the midline, coming over towards the left. Now you can take your right arm just straight out. You can cactus it if you'd like, just whatever feels good to you today. I like to take my left hand, or the opposite hand of the way I'm turning, or the opposite one of whatever one's out, and just placing it on that top leg just for some support, but I'm not pressing down on it to come into the twist. So it's just kind of hanging out there. You can turn to look at your right fingers if you'd like. We're just going to breathe here for a little bit. And when you're ready, we'll return to center. Go ahead and place your right foot on the mat. Let's bring our left foot in, and then we can stretch our right foot away. And then let's hug this left foot in towards our chest. Take a few breaths here. And then when you feel ready, we'll twist that over to the right. Try and keep both shoulder blades on the mat if you can, so you may not come as far into the twist. I'm not coming super far on this side. This side's a little bit tighter, so that's okay. We're going to honor that today. Twists are really good for our bodies. They just help to massage our organs and release any kind of stale, toxic that's in there. I have some tightness in my lower back here that I can definitely feel, so this will help to loosen that up too. One more breath here. And then exhale, we'll return to center. Now, if there's any other movements that you'd like to take that feel good in your body, you're more than welcome to do so. If you like to use any props for Shavasana, you can grab those and get yourself set up. Otherwise, if you have no idea what I'm talking about and this is all new to you, you don't have any props, that's okay. If you don't have anything, we're just going to stretch one leg out and away, then the other leg out and away. Let your hands fall down at your sides, take up space. If this does not feel safe in your body, you can always rest your hands on your body or in whatever position feels comfortable to you. If it feels safe, you can close down the eyes, but if not, that's okay. You can just soften your gaze. And we're just going to take a moment here in this final resting posture. It's called Shavasana, or the corpse pose, just to give ourselves some gratitude and love, and just really thank our bodies for everything that they've done for us today and everything that they continue to do for us. So just take some nice big inhales and exhales here, just really feeling into your body. If thoughts about what you need to do today or next week or in this month, if they pop in, let them. We're just going to let them float on by like clouds. I am going to go quiet for a moment, so don't worry. I am here. I'm just going to go quiet to allow you time with yourself in your practice, but know that I'm here. I'm holding space for you, and I will guide you out of this final posture so that you can get back on to your day in just a moment. So the card that I pulled for today's practice is Squirrel Spirit. If you've been with me before, then you know that for every practice I pull a tarot card. If you don't know, now you know. But its message is to believe in yourself. You have accumulated wisdom and experience and are surrounded by all you need. An abundance of resources is available to you through the generosity of spirit and all of your hard work. Squirrel Spirit shows up when you need reminding that the acorns you have gathered and stored away have enormous potential to grow. So relax into knowing there is always enough and you have what it takes to co-create the reality you want to experience. Through diligent preparation, you have gained wisdom and strength. How much potential you have. Believe in yourself, for Spirit believes in you and wants you to know that you have enough and that you are enough. Doesn't that truth make you feel safe and secure? It should, because you have everything that you need right now. If you would like to continue your Shavasana and time allows you to do so, then you can stay as long as you would like. If you need to continue on with the rest of your day, then slowly start to deepen your breaths. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, just bringing some life back into them. From there, I invite you to place one foot on the mat and then the other, keeping your knees nice and bent. From there, you can roll to your favorite side, come into a little fetal position, and then just take a moment there to take a few breaths. You can use your bottom arm as a pillow. Finally, whenever you feel ready, you can start to come back up into a nice, comfortable seat, bringing your head and neck up last. If your eyes are still closed, you can bat them open, coming back into the room around you. And we are back. So I want to thank you so much for spending your time and your energy with me and for sharing your practice with me and with anybody else that is on the live. If this is your first time joining me, then welcome. I do have a link in my bio if you're interested in the replay of this. I'll have that up later tonight. I have an entire channel on YouTube with free videos, and then I do have an online kind of platform on Patreon. Again, the link is in my bio for that, and that is a subscription service where you get access to any yoga practice that I have ever done. It's all there in a whole library for you. There's different lengths, there's different difficulty levels. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out. Again, link is in the bio. Otherwise, I'll be back on the live next week with a brand new practice. And again, you can always check out YouTube if you want other free ones as well. If you're seeing this on YouTube, then welcome. Again, the link for Patreon is in the bio there as well. And if you're seeing this on Patreon, then hello, thank you so much for your support. All right, so again, I'll be back next week with a brand new practice live on TikTok. Otherwise, I will see you next month for a brand new practice on YouTube. But I hope everyone has a great rest of the week, that you're safe, that you're healthy, and I'll see you later. Namaste.